Welcome traders to a video that's about to change your weekly swing trading game forever. If you're searching for those golden opportunities that can turn a week's worth of patience into a pocket full of profits, you're in the right spot. Today we're unveiling our top weekly swing setups, so get ready to elevate your trading strategy to new heights. But before we dive into those potential winners, don't forget to subscribe. Join our community of traders hungry for success. Let's set the stage for some lucrative swings. This is the weekly swing watch list for the week of September 11th. I send these out for you guys for free every single week. I do daily setups every single day except for Mondays. Let's get started on this list, ladies and gentlemen. The screen that you see in front of you, that is TradingView. I want to start by saying, if you have never traded before, you're going to need something like this. So there's a link in the description below. That link will give you a free 30-day trial to TradingView's sub-based services. And then if you actually decide to use those sub-based services, you get up to $30 off, but you need to start by clicking that link after you watch the video, of course. The other thing, there are going to be ads that pop up and roll through. Those ads pay for my time to keep these videos free, to put the time that I do into these videos. So please let the ads roll through if you don't mind, and I thank you for that in advance. Let's get started on this list. If you watched my review video from last week, we were like 10-2 on these setups, okay? These setups, out of 12 or whatever we had, 10 of them worked out, 2 of them didn't. So keep that in mind as we go through this list, and it is quite extensive, but I'm going to try and run through this. I want to try and make these videos a little bit quicker. No one wants to watch these videos for 20 and 30 minutes, so let's get started. AMD, hey, we have a 2-up. It finished red. What does that mean? Well, it means there's a higher probability that the sellers took this back on the weekly last week, that it's telling me there's a very high chance that we could see a downturn on AMD. So we have the quarterly, we have the monthly already in the down direction. The weekly from last week obviously is in the down direction. So we're going to look for a break at 105.09. That's our strike price, or our trigger price. Your strike price that you can take on that is something in the 105, 104 nature. And you're just going to want to look for it to hit these targets here. The targets are always marked at the low of the preceding wicks, or if we're trending to the upside, the high of the preceding wicks. Okay? It's very, very simple. This strategy, guys, you won't find anything more simple than this. And I always say, my mantra is, when you simplify trading, trading becomes simplified. And the other thing I've really been thinking of lately is, you know, there's bears in the market and there's bulls in the market when we're talking about analogies. And what we're trying to teach here, I want to teach you guys to be lions. And it doesn't matter if it's going up or down. We're taking out both sides. We're eating the bears. We're eating the bulls. Okay? We are attacking this thing. We are the king of the jungle. We are what it is to be in the stock market, okay? So that's what I'm trying to teach you guys here, to trade both directions. Doesn't matter if it's a bear or a bull. We're lions. That's what we're teaching you guys to be, okay? Let's move on to BIDU. BIDU, okay, we have an inside bar. So the inside bars are the 1 bars. You see these candlestick numbers. That's part of my indicator that I've created for you guys, as is this time frame continuity that's pointing all to the downside outside of the year. So that is part of the indicator. That link is down in the description below. You can purchase that, or it comes with the Griswold Gold membership. Inside bars, or 1 bars, they don't break the high. They do not break the low. They stay within the range. It's a tightening range. And when we see those inside bars, I want you guys to think of a spring being compacted, squished, loaded. And we look for these kind of big runs here. That was a gap, so it didn't really work. Here's another example. We had this big run up, okay? That's what we're looking for. This big run down. Inside bar, a run down. That's what we're looking for again. See? Run down, all off of those inside bars. We're looking for those big pushes. So we can take this either way. The higher probability is to the downside, as we are closer to going 2 down than 2 up. So we can look for puts at 135.46 if you follow this pink line across. There's my number, 135.46. Calls at 144.63. That's what we're looking for on BIDU. Citibank. So this is a 1-3 setup. We've been talking about these recently over the last couple days. They tend to be very powerful. And they don't happen very often. They're rare. So if we go back and try and find the last time we had a 1-3 setup, right there, inside bar, outside bar. Look at this run, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight weeks we trended down for. And let me tell you this, if you're buying options on these, and you should only be buying options to the downside. I wouldn't buy common shares to the downside. You can buy options to the upside as well, but no common shares to the downside. If you're buying, or when you're buying options on these, your expiry date should be at minimum 2 weeks out. Okay? Get 2 weeks out minimum. You can get 3, you can get 4, you can get 5, you can get 6, you can get 8, but minimum is 2. We're going to look for Citibank to continue this downtrend based off of time frame continuity. Part of my indicator. If you don't know what time frame continuity is, there will be a video at the end of this one explaining exactly what time frame continuity is. We move on to CAT. CAT, another one of those 2 up finished reds. We look for puts here at 277.65. Inside bar on Salesforce. And I have to go only 2 weeks back to see this inside bar and this fantastic run up. So we've consolidated again. This time we've got all green right across the board. We're going to look for this to trend up again. And look, targets 1, targets 2, targets 3. I'm not saying we're going to hit all those, but those are where you should be looking at taking profit on this stuff. Okay, I will mention, like, we can talk about this stuff more either on Twitter or on my Discord, which is free to join. The Discord's free. That link is in the description below. I know a lot of people have been asking about Discord since Rob's passing and Sepia. I'm not sure what's going on there, but our Discord is free to join. There's lots of help in there. There's lots of information in there. Cisco also with the inside bar, so we can take the break of the high or the low on Cisco as well. 57.82 for calls, 56.56 for puts. CVS, 2 down. We haven't seen this one. We've seen the 2 up reds. Now we've got a 2 down green. We're going to look for this to trend back to the upside. We'll look for calls at 66.53. DocuSign, 2 up red, so we look with time frame continuity, fully to the downside. We're looking for this 2-2 reversal, okay? 2 up, 2 down, red, puts at 49.01. We move on to Google. So a couple things here with Google. Inside bar and a hammer candle. So the Strat, what we teach here, has 3 actionable signals. We have inside bars. We have hammer candles, which is this body with a big long wick to the bottom. And we have shooter candles, which you could imagine if this body was at the bottom right here and the wick would be to the top. That's a bearish pattern. That's the 3rd actionable signal. It means it's high probability trades. Inside bars, hammer candles, shooter candles. Well, we've got 2. We've got an inside bar and a hammer candle. We're going to look for this to trend to the upside. Preferably, we'll look for calls at 137.51. We've got really good time frame continuity across the board on Google. Home Depot, also inside bar. Not quite a hammer candle, but it's pretty darn close. We'll look for calls here at 332.30, puts at 324.30. And guys, like I said, if you like this information, if it's helping, if you want more learning tools, make sure you're subscribed. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if I'm doing a great job. Let me know if I'm doing a crappy job. I want to know either way. You can do that in the comment section. IBM, 2 up red. We're going to look for puts back to the downside at 147.12. Again, we've got time frame continuity not really in our favor, so it's not a high probability play. Not saying it won't work. We'd like to see this red more so than green, but we still have that potential to go to the downside. Lululemon, 2 up, finished red. Shooter candle, we're going to look for puts here at 395.51. MasterCard, with all the debt in North America and Canada, how can you not be bullish on the credit card companies? Inside bar, hammer candle, time frame continuity on the higher ends. We look for calls at 416.33, puts at 408.89. Marvel, not something I usually have on here, but ladies and gentlemen, we have a double inside bar, and there are a few of these on the weekly. So double inside bars, again, they're marked out on my charts with my indicator with a blue highlight. They don't happen very often. This one here, we triggered and we hit targets. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Didn't go on a big run, but it did hit targets. So we're going to try and find one more here. Here's another one. Okay, it triggered, did exactly what it was supposed to do. Hit the first 2 targets. I'd like to see a little bit more magnitude on these. But again, here's a triple inside bar that ran for 2 weeks to the upside. Okay, so we look for those big runs. It's 2 straight weeks of consolidating. of it compressing and getting ready for an explosion. That's what we're looking for on Marvel this week. Neo, we talked about those 3-1 setups, or we talked about the 1-3 setups. This is a 3-1 setup, also very rare. Outside, inside bar. We go back and look to find the gold highlight, also part of my indicator. There it is there. We ran up 1 week. We ran up for the second week. Hit targets, okay? That's what we're looking for off of the 3-1 setup. We have that on Neo. Look at time frame continuity here, guys. All to the downside. We can look for puts at 992. Calls still possible at 1118 trigger price. NVIDIA. Here's a double inside bar on NVIDIA. We go back in time to look at NVIDIA. Find the last time we had one of those. And this, guys, we have to go back. This is April of 21. We had double inside bar and 2 straight weeks of a big, big downturn. That's the kind of momentum we're looking for off of these double inside bars. Does it always happen? No, it doesn't. Because when we look at this stuff, guys, trades, strategies, they're all based off of probability. Every trade is, because no one knows what the next candlestick is going to be. So it has to be based off of probability. Based off of probability of what we know to be true with these double inside bars and what's happened in the past. And then we just follow what the candlesticks tell us to do. If we trigger here, it's a buy. If we hit targets, that's where we take our profits. Same thing to the downside, okay? QQQ, single inside bar. We look for the calls at 379.31, puts at 369.15. Shopify, single inside bar, calls at 66.49, puts at 62.79. SPY, one of my favorites. I give top 5 setups to the Griswold Gold members. I talked about that earlier. So it's a $50 membership fee, or you buy 2 months, you get a month free, but you get this indicator. You get the top 5 setups from these plays that I give out to you guys. You get a 1-hour Strat course that teaches you about this course right from the start to the end. You get a one-on-one with me, multiple one-on-ones if you need them, okay? There's multiple other things. There's live trading bots in that room as well. So it's a really good value. You'll make that back, or you should make that back in at least one trade based on this strategy. We move on to Teledoc. Not something, again, that I usually put on here, but we have a double inside bar on TDoc. So we go back in time real quick. We look for that blue. We look for that blue highlight. And again, we have to go back far because it's super rare. It's something that doesn't show up very often. Not often does a ticker or a stock consolidate for 2 straight weeks. So this is how far back we're going. We're all the way back to 2017 on this thing. Okay, 2016, December. And we triggered and we hit targets. Okay, exactly. And then it actually ran down a little bit more into the following week, and you should have left that trade with profit. Okay, but that's what we're looking for. I don't even know if we will find another one on here. I'm back as far as I can go. So it's only happened one other time in the history of Teledoc that we have a double inside bar on the weekly. So we can look for that explosion to see what happens on Teledoc. We go to Target also with that double inside bar. So again, we just look for those calls at 127.47, puts at 122.53. We can take either side, doesn't matter. But again, let's go back in time. The last time we had the double inside bar on Target, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight weeks. And from 149.60 to the high point of 183, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 33% gain. It's actually more, is it 33? I'm not great at math. 150 to 180, so it's $30. So, a little bit more than 30% gain just on common shares over that time period. So think about that in an option play, guys. That's 1,000%. You're multiple 100%, multiple baggers on the double inside bar the last time it happened on Target. We move on to Visa, and again, we talked about those credit card companies. We have an inside bar hammer candle just like MasterCard did, so we can look for calls at 248.69 or puts at 244.21. Last inside bars on the credit card companies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight weeks. This one, 2 straight weeks. But look at the trend to the downside, okay? Off of this inside bar from 229 all the way down to 215. These are big movers, big movers. They can change the trajectory of your trading career, okay? This strategy is going to change the way that you guys trade. Inside bar on Tesla, shooter candle, we can look for those puts at 243.27, calls at 258 even. Uber, inside bar, hammer candle, great time frame continuity. We can look for the calls at 47.25, puts at 45.25. XLU, hammer candle, 2 down green. Look at this. I don't talk about broadening formations often, but there we are, okay? Low to the high. Where are we trending? Back to the low. We've tagged it. This is our hammer candle. 2-2 reversal. Back to the upside. 63.29 we'll look at with calls on XLU. Like I said, I don't talk about broadening formations very often, but they are very useful. They show you the range of where we were, where we are, and where we are going. So that's XLU. XEL. Same thing. We've got that hammer candle, that 2 down green hammer candle. So we'll look for calls at 57.17. And, of course, Amazon. Inside bar, hammer candle. We look for those calls at 138.85. Puts are still possible at 133.16. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the list. Thank you for joining me. I wish you nothing but the best. Make sure you're subscribed. Join me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold and get into that Discord. It's free to join, okay? The link is in the description below. I thank you guys for watching and joining with me this weekend. Good luck next week, and we will see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.